So the film begins with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame belonging to Elizabeth Sparkles, played at an Oscar level by Demi Moore. It becomes dilapidated over time, and it is eventually desecrated by a man and his lunch. The film follows the waning career of Sparkles as she discovers that the generic star maker, Harvey, played by Dennis Quaid, is planning to fire her due to her lack of youth and beauty. After an accident and a trip to the hospital, a young and handsome doctor assistant offers Sparkle a chance to be the best version of herself. I mean, isn't that what everybody wants? This takes the form of an ominous flash drive with a number inscribed on it. I never understood the motivation behind his actions. What did he care if she was getting old and less marketable? But I digress. After some hesitation, she eventually arrives at the location where her magical elixir arrives. She tries it, and the gorgeous Sue, played by Margaret Qualley, literally rips out of her body. I mean, geez man, birth really is a bitch. Since, as the customer service rep informs Sparkles, the two are actually one. They'll need to work together to succeed at this. One body is given no more than a week to be awake while the other one sleeps. Before long, the younger, more beautiful and sexy Sue begins to take advantage of her time, and it affects Sparkles physically, aging her body piece by piece. Eventually, each woman resents the other, and the battle for Sue Elizabeth ensues, culminating in quite a fourth and final act. I really love many of the messages in this film. It's essentially a critique on the obsession of the beauty and youth machine that is Hollywood. Youth and beauty will always be important to mankind. It's what attracts a mate and ensures the best offsprings from a biological perspective. But age and experience are also to be valued. As our younger selves, we need to be cognizant of the future. And when we grow older, we need to understand that that time is not for us anymore. It's for the next generation. Each stage of life has positives and negatives. Youth lacks experience, and age lacks some of the life and vibrance we had when we were young. The Hollywood machine has capitalized and monetized our very own sex drive, also putting the most obscene pressure for women and men to fit the perfect mold. Make no mistake about it, Hollywood has weaponized beauty, and this film exposes the warped ways in which it does. I particularly loved how the young self sacrifices her old self for the pleasures of the now. The two are inextricably linked one to another. When we're young, we can protect our livers, save money, work hard, go to school to make a better future for ourselves. Or we can sacrifice our future selves for the momentary and fleeting present. We make a contract with our future self to ensure our best outcome. It's beautifully filmed using standard and fisheye lenses to accentuate the characters' desperation and their viewpoint in certain circumstances. It also has a rather 80s aesthetic throughout, with loud suits worn by Dennis Quaid and fun retro women's fashion such as leg warmers for Sue that she wears during her fitness show as she is intoxicated by her own sexuality. The last act is something to behold. It's a body horror orgy in the same vein as films by David Cronenberg. I could even identify some of the elements from The Fly and Alien Resurrection. Well, some of you are gonna love it, some of you are gonna be grossed out by it, and isn't that the measure of true art? Either way, I recommend it and feel that Demi Moore deserves an Oscar nomination at least for this one. Well, let me know what you think. Did you love it? Did you get grossed out by it? And as always, keep watching movies.